Sorry student, by mistake the video got terminated. Let's continue for the same part. Here where we have stopped in our last video. We were talking about the one more use of our cloning for understanding the transformation part. So the cloning is basically used to understand a transformation assay or to perform it for the assaying that particular cell is transformed or not. How I can do that? With the help of a monolayer and suspension layer culture growth activity or pattern, right? So as of now we were talking about how do the cell behave in a monolayer and how do the cell behave in a suspension layer, right? So in this we are going to purely first try to understand that how do the continuous cell line behave in our monolayer and how do they behave in a suspension layer, right? In the same thing we will be trying to understand the growth pattern or the way they are growing if the cells are a normal one or a primary cells, right? So what is the case in our continuous one? You will be allowing, if you are allowing that continuous cell to grow into a monolayer culture or a suspension culture, as they are lacking the property of dividing and growing without the help of attachment, as in they don't need any attachment for their cell to grow and divide, right? So they will be growing in a fastest manner. Either they are being cultured in a monolayer culture or they are cultured in a suspension culture. So this will be the peculiar identity of our continuous cell line, that they are growing in a well mannered, well fastest in a monolayer culture or a suspension culture, whereas a normal cell has a specific requirement or a need, that they need a particular substratum over which they will first attach themselves, and once they attach and they will perform a propagation, a cell division, right? So this requirement of normal cell to get attached and then divide will allow us or help us to discriminate between a transformed cell and non-transformed cell or a normal cell, right? So normal cell will do what? They will be having a high cloning efficiency in a monolayer cell and low cloning efficiency in suspension culture, right? So likewise I can differentiate between a continuous cell line, that is having a transformed status, and a normal cell line which is having a requirement. So I can assay a particular unknown cell, right? How I can assay that? I'll be taking that unknown cell. That unknown cell will be performing a attachment in case of monolayer and then divide, right? But this will be a very much high cloning efficiency shown in monolayer in terms of or in case of our normal cell, but the efficiency is greatly reduced in a suspension. So I can assure that yes, this cell is normal cell, and when that particular unknown cell show a characteristic of high efficiency, whether I'm allowing it to grow in a monolayer or suspension, then I can confirm it is continuous cell, right? Okay, let's talk about the one more cloning technique, that is called as a dilution cloning technique. What is done in dilution cloning technique is, I'll be reducing the cell count, right? Reducing the cell count to a certain level in which a cell will be forming a discrete colony, right? As in there won't be any overlapping, right? A cell, one cell is there, it is giving rise to single colony, then other cell is there which is giving rise to single colony separately. So the dilution is much higher to a certain level that each cell which growing into colony have a separate space in between, right? So in this low density we need to provide a feed, right? In this low density we need to provide a feed. Why you need to provide a feed? Because there won't be any paracrine activity of each of the cell to help their grow and divide, right? So the feeding has to be there, but this point whether to provide feed or not, it is a point of a discrimination over here. Why? Or you can say a point to be debate upon, because if I'm providing feed in between to this lower density cells, right? If I'm providing a feed, although my feed is replenishing my cells and it is counteracting in a way the loss of nutrient, right? It is giving stability by providing a nutrient to my cell. But in a other way, if I see, I am providing a high risk, I am increasing a risk of adding contamination along with that feed. So adding feed will be a very much risky factor, right? So what is done is, let's not to add feed for a condition, leave it for a 2 weeks without feeding, right? And if you are allowing it to for more propagation, as in you are allowing after 2 weeks you want to leave it for one more week, at that time you should replace a nutrient, at least half of it, right? So in that term the feeding is required, but every time at every stage providing a feed will definitely keep us or put us into a risk of chances of contamination to happen, right? The other part that we should also take care of the incorrect seeding. What do you mean by incorrect seeding? As in, seeding means you are putting a cell into the medium, right? Allowing your cell to, as in you have taken it from the source and you are allowing into the medium. So that technique and that way is called as seeding, right? So seeding, if you are putting into a center, right, either you put it directly into the center, or the plate has a sufficient medium within a center itself, and when you are swirl the plate is, I'm talking about petri dish or a tea flask. If you are swirling it in such a manner that all the medium has concentrated within a center, so what will happen? At the center only you will have a maximum number of growth, right? Or the reason maybe you have the resonance in the incubator which allow your cell to grow in center only, right? These are the certain points that should be focused during animal cell culture for cloning part. Now other part that we must know, and it's of major importance, the last point of this video lecture, that is micro titration plate. Micro titration plates are the plates in which we can isolate colony, right? When you have actual purpose of your cloning to isolate a colony, it can be done or it should be done through micro titration plate. So what does how does this micro titration will allow us to isolate colony? That is, if I am seeding a colony into a plate, right, I need to allow that seeding to grow, right? So what I'm doing, basically micro titration plates are what? These are the plates with number of wells, and that wells are having a small micro area, micrometer area, right? That uh, area, micrometer area in terms of cell growth, right? That wells are sufficient around 1 mm, it will be around 1 mm, right? So these are the plate which are having different 1 mm ka wells. These wells, when I put a colony into a single well, that well will have sufficient medium to allow the clone to grow up. So it is very easy to isolate clone over there, because that well will not allow many more cell. But again, you have to be very careful, you should monitor it at early stage to mark which cell is genuinely having a single clone, right? You'll be able to identify this cell is having two different, as well is already isolated very much. So it will be very easy to understand the colonies which are giving rise within a one well, they are genuinely single one, right? Now here we have to put statistical probability. What is the statistical probability? That statistical probability is about if I am cloning a particular single cell, that single cell I should reduce the seeding density, right, in such a level that I will be putting a single cell into a single well, single cell in single cell. Suppose for example you have took 100 cells in 1 ml, that is that 100 cell having a capacity of 10% efficiency, plating efficiency, right? It would give 10 colonies per ml, right? It would give 10 colonies per ml. 10% efficiency means it will give 10 colonies per ml, right? Or if I reduce the ml, as in 1 ml, I'll consider as a 0.1 ml. So that means it is giving 1 colony per 0.1 ml. So I am reducing the cell density, right? So this is how micro titration plate will allow us to grow 1 colony per well, because in single well there will be a 0.1 ml medium can be incorporated, right? So theoretically if I reduce the cell concentration, definitely a cell per well will get reduced, and I'll be having a more chances of developing one cell per well rather than more than one colony per well. So I'm ruling out the criteria of more than one colony in well. Understood? So here we'll stop for a cloning, right? So we will be talking more in detail about cloning in our next video lecture, right? So let me know how much you have understood and what all terms you have not understood. I'll be preparing a separate video for terminology. Here we'll pause for colony. In our next video lecture we'll be dealing with the plating efficiency, how I can raise the plating efficiency, and our last point, that is selection. The last point, selection, is the point which is actually talking about how cloning is actually help us to screen out a specific pure cell type. So till now we have talked about how cloning can be done, what all equipments can be used, what all uses of our cloning, right? And in our next video we'll be talking about how I can enhance or stimulate plating efficiency. Yes, got the point all of you. Thanks a lot. We'll stop here.